What's up, y'all? So today I want to talk about how to fast using progression-based fasting while still living your life and enjoying your life. Now, think about why most of us are considering fasting. I think if we're honest, a lot of us want some body composition changes. Some of us genuinely want the health benefits associated with it. Maybe there's a combination of both of that, and then a lot of us that have been doing it for a little bit understand the freedom that comes from being metabolically flexible. And so, fasting helps us to become more metabolically flexible, which gives us more freedom with food, more freedom with the way we eat, and it makes living this life, eating real food, a little bit more flexible and forgiving. Now, fasting doesn't have to be complicated or super restrictive or extreme. It just needs to be tinkered with in a progression-based format. So when I first got into fasting, I remember years ago, I read a couple of books. Dr. Fung's book came out, The Complete Guide to Fasting, and like all of us, I got super, super excited about it. And fasting was my thing for a little bit, I was just hardcore into it. I ended up, I think putting off this persona with my clients and people that went through our progressions, that fasting was a necessary and extremely important part of what we're doing. And in some ways it is, but probably not the way that I was putting it out there because that's what I was focused on at the time. Now, what I've learned over the years is the benefits that we're looking for from all of our health efforts, it's not just one thing. Although our focus tends to be one thing for a little bit because that's what we're learning about and that's what we're kind of intensely focused on. What I've learned over the years is it's everything. It's all the things that we learn. And the magic and maybe, the goal of everything that we're trying to put into practice is making this work in a modern lifestyle and doing something that's sustainable and in a way that we can still enjoy and live our lives. So again, fasting doesn't have to be complicated, super restrictive, or extreme. It just needs to be tinkered with as a part of all our other health efforts that we're trying to put into practice. The problem is that for a lot of us, we get into something and we go hardcore extreme, and maybe we see some benefit out of it, but we also have this backlash that potentially happens. And we have, I don't know if this is a phrase or not, but I'm calling it something, perfectionist syndrome. Where you go into something and you go hardcore, you see some results, but then you can't stick with it the way that you think you should. And because you can't, you kind of throw your hands up and walk away from other health efforts. So let me tell you about our progression-based fasting framework. See if it makes sense to you. This is usually how we teach it when we get in front of groups. We do seminars or progressions, and then most importantly inside of our online community, SuperHumans United. So the first step is becoming a real foodie. You've got to make real food your foundation and a priority, because just by doing that, especially if you learn from us or learn the way that we teach it by eating for nutrients and eating for nutrient density and nurturing metabolic flexibility, when you eat real food our way, space naturally opens up. In fact, most of our people, without even having a discussion around fasting, kind of gravitate towards 2 meals a day and accidentally, experimentally, having 1 meal a day just because life situations kind of dictate it. So real food in and of itself, especially if you're focused on eating for nutrients and metabolic flexibility, naturally starts to open up space in between meals where you just don't eat that often. The next thing would be to experiment with a little bit more space as you feel comfortable with it. Now, as you feel comfortable with it means you're not trying to force anything, because again, most of us have daily family responsibilities and work responsibilities. And so what we're trying to do here is, check out a list of maybe time durations that we could tinker with and see where we're at on that spectrum. And every now and then, you're just trying to let yourself go longer than normal, but doing it without causing some problems. And then it's useful to learn about and experiment with our different types of fasting. So we use 3 types of fasting in our community. The first one is what is known as a fat fast. The second one is our most popular and favorite and easy to use, an SHT fast. And then the final one is a water fast. Now, every single one of these, by definition, because we recommend using them, are going to give us the results that we're looking for, which is the body composition changes, the health benefits, the combination of those two things, the freedom associated with fasting. And then it's useful to learn about the tips and hints and strategies and supplements that you can use during a fast that are still going to give you the benefits of a fast, but not disrupt it. So there's things that we could consume that would throw off these things that we're looking for, the benefits that we're looking for. But then there's things that we can consume that don't throw it off and they don't disrupt a fast. And over the years, a lot of different experts and master fasters, through their experimentation and biohacking and measuring, and including us, because we've done a lot of glucose testing and ketone monitoring, we've learned that there's certain things that you can still consume to make a fast a little bit more doable and enjoyable, that don't disrupt the benefits that you're looking for, like the body composition, the health benefits, and the freedom and the clarity and all the things that we know come from fasting. And then extremely useful is having a community of support, whether that's a partner, someone that you're living with and wants to do a little fasting experiment with you, someone that you get that's part of your close community, someone that you get on social media, or if you're a part of our online community, of course, we have a huge group of people there that would support each other as we go through a process like this. So again, to summarize that, you gotta be a real foodie, make that, and this is assuming that you wanna ease yourself into this and make it a little bit easier, and is also with the preface of, we know what we're all looking for, and this is the health benefits, the body composition changes, the freedom, the clarity that comes from it, right? Be a real foodie first. Make that your first effort and first focus, and what you'll notice is naturally space starts to open up. Then you can experiment with pushing the boundaries of time durations that you may not feel totally comfortable with, but you're open to experimenting with. And then it's really beneficial to learn about the different types of fasts that you can experiment with, and you can ease yourself into those 3 different types. We talked about fat fast, SHT fast, and water fast. And then it's also useful to know the tips and hints and strategies and the things that you can and can't consume to ensure that you're still getting all the benefits that you want, but also making the fast as enjoyable as possible. So this Saturday, May 15th at 10:30 PST, we have a virtual talk on progression-based fasting. I want to invite you to that. It's going to be awesome. We're hosting that through Crowdcast, a really cool little format. And at this meeting, we're going to learn all about our progression-based fasting system. We'll have about 45 minutes of discussion and 15 minutes of question and answer, and then we'll have handouts and everything that document what we talk about. Now, if this is something that you're wondering, like, is this the best place to learn? Well, we've learned from the best. We've learned from all the master fasters. Just recently, when I got ready for our last talk on fasting, I read Mercola's, I can't remember what the heck it is now. Is it called Fat Fast? Whatever Mercola's recent book is, Fast This Way by Dave Asprey, in addition to all the ones that we've talked about in the past. So, and those are really good, solid books, by the way. So we're up to date on the latest and greatest as far as fasting goes. Now, if you're not sure if you have what it takes to make this work, remember, the whole point of progression-based fasting is that you start easy, and then you move at your own pace, and you move through these different little phases as you feel comfortable without forcing anything that feels uncomfortable. And then if you're wondering if it's something that you can do because of your life situation, family situation, partner situation, again, it's progression-based. This is go at your own speed, at your own pace, doing things that you feel comfortable with. So again, this Saturday, May 15th, 10:30 a.m. PST, virtual. We'll have 45 minutes of education discussion and then 15 minutes of question and answer. We've got handouts and everything to support it. If all this did was just get you a little bit excited about doing something slightly different in your holistic health journey, it'd be totally worth it because it doesn't cost anything. And the reason that we're doing this and I'm doing this is I just remember when starting out with all this stuff, it was very overwhelming, slightly confusing. I went through a lot of different extremes. I had a bad relationship with some of the things that I was doing, and I feel like I kind of taught that inadvertently sometimes. And so now what we want to do is help you clarify the confusion, learn from everything that we've already learned from, give you a fast track to fasting, and give you a template and a formula that you can use in your own way.